Great. So hello, we start the recording, and it is amazing how the time has passed, and there is a lot that still we need to do and start rounding up some evaluation topics related to evaluation. And so, so therefore I was thinking and rethinking how to organize. And I have changed something that we were going to do like in 5 more weeks we will do today, which is lesson planning. Moreover, we have a new lesson plan produced by the career, so it's a new format. So we are this is the premiere, let us say. Estamos estrenando el nuevo lesson plan, and we need to pay a lot of attention to upcoming evaluations. So I am glad most of you are here early today, so we start checking and we can take advantage to work. Well, in general, housekeeping refers to materials for tasks. Everything is on Educandos. I was just joking with the girls who came earlier that Educandos is full of materials I upload, but I need your materials as well. And we are leaving this for the last minute, and that will not be very nice. Therefore, forum postings, we were talking about them last week, and I need you to start writing and participating. So there are not many forum postings along the semester. We have one already, and I will be giving partial feedback and grades. Estos son los forum postings, los vamos a volver a ver, son con nota parcial hasta que lleguemos al final. Well, portfolio, of course, you're doing the tasks for portfolio, yes, and new documents like ficha de seguimiento, for example, which you have been completing. So that's a very general vision. So modules evaluations are a topic that I really don't like. I hate the topic of evaluation. I really hate it. It is something I don't like. I don't like summative. I like formative. Yes, that I like. I can go along a process. I like seeing the process of improvement. I like that. I don't like summative. Whenever we have to come to a final number, I hate numbers altogether. I don't understand them. They make no sense. However, this is a world of numbers and a world of evaluations in which you need to have a final number as the result of the module. This was not chosen by me. The system was not chosen by me, but this is what we have. Consequently, this was a system we used last semester, and I think I used it also with you so that you can see where we are going. So this is the way, one of the ways in which we can visualize that we really don't have so much time. Of course, the final portfolio will be June, July. The final participation grade is June, July, but we have other things in the middle. And for example, this was last week. We did lots of revision. We wrote the forum comment. So you read, and there is an example. So you have the materials to work on your forum comments for your classmates. Plus, I need everyone to have the materials there so the classmates can comment. Yes, so that's something that needs to be done. I don't remember how many forums we have. It's either 3 or 4. And the idea is that we receive partial feedback, but the last, it will be the last task, the grade will be by the end. So I think I have here, so I have a form book 9. So we have 1, 2, 3. according to what I see here in my planning. So 3 forums. It's not something that is going to take us so long. It's now, I do not know, by week, something like week 9, I think, and another one by week 15. So it is very easy to do, but you still need to do it. But it will depend also, because I am changing something's place of some activities. But anyway, you need to do them little by little. Then we have some more other 2 reminders. One is week 9, when the reflective video 1 is due. So that means we need to start today. There's no more wait. There is no more time to wait for having the script. Yeah, so we are here. In 2 weeks, the video, the reflective video 1 is due. So if we work today in having one draft, you receive feedback and you have a second feedback, probably corrections or something, you are still okay to finish the video for week 9. Moreover, you have some more other things to do. On week 10, we don't have classes. We don't have classes for 2 weeks in a row. Week 10 and week 11 will not we will not have classes. And nevertheless, I want to say, nevertheless, you will have this week to finish your portfolio, the midterm portfolio revision, so that I give you feedback and extra credit. So it would be easier for me, the revision, by the end of the semester. I remind you that last semester was crazy. I had like 50 portfolios by the end of December, and it was really crazy. So I decided to divide the portfolio. This is only for formative revision. You will get extra credit for those who have your portfolios complete, your reflections are complete, and everything is okay. Extra credit. So that will help you by the end of the semester. So now it is formative. So I will check your reflections, your work in general, so that you can have time to improve for the second part of the semester. So here we have 10 weeks, but these 2 events are important for me. This goes to SGC. So this is the first grade, your reflective video, that is going to the system, al SGC, al Sistema de Gestión Curricular. So that is an official grade. The other grades are temporary, partial, but nevertheless important to be done. So for this first video, we agreed that we will see something. So this was the task. It is was uploaded to Educandos. And we needed to write a script. Do you remember about this that we talked about, the script? People, do you remember the script? ¿Se acuerdan del guión? ¿O de las ideas principales?
Script for what, Miss?
For the video, for the reflective video. Remember, this is speaking. Yes? We will read the task again. It's a speaking task. You will be preparing a script. Yes. But we still, I think we need to revise the ideas you're going to include there. Therefore, for that reason, I have created this task. I need you to work with your classmates. Please, if they are not on, tell them to come. We really need to work on this. There's no way we can wait for another week for you to come together at some point to do this script. Let us take some minutes, reflect on the whole task, and work together as much as you can, and finish it today, this evening. Yeah, yes, we will see. Liselda, we will explain. So the task is written, and we will see there the contents. Yes, you have this task, and you have another document with general explanations, and we saw them last week. Nevertheless, we will revise again. Before doing this task, this discussion, so the other one is the portfolio. And the portfolio, you have already 3 tasks that should be finished, and whatever is still missing in the coming weeks. And the due date to present the midterm portfolio is week 10. Yes, what we saw before. So that in regards the portfolio, and then the participation. And we saw the practicum, the forum participation criteria. So this is, everything is uploaded, plus for this task, you have an example on Educandos. So I don't see the point, you are not going to do this now. Then we are coming quickly to the next forum, and so we will have the accumulation of tasks not done. So we will revise again. We will revise again the task, the reflective video task. For that reason, I am going to check. Okay. So this is the task uploaded to Educandos. Esta es la tarea. El otro documento es más como una ficha técnica. We can read both of them so that you're clear and you ask questions before working with your partner. So this is the task. So this project is divided in 2. You have a reflective video now, midterm. So that's why week 9. And the other one is due on week, I don't remember the week, but it's by the end of the semester. Yeah. The second video is due at end of June, 25th of June. Okay, so that's the second video. So you have 2 videos, and we will see what do they contain. Okay, so now we're seeing, we need to see the task so that we read together and we come to conclusions together. Okay, so video preparation. What are we going to do? We're going to create a script. Remember, I have also been repeating this in the practicum. Whenever we are not sure whether we are going to be able to speak spontaneously, si no sabemos cómo hablar espontáneamente, otra lengua, no tenemos miedo de lo que vamos a decir, we write a script, ¿sí? Escribimos el guión. That's why having the script is much better, yes? Then you will include the required aspects. We're going to see which are they, and coordinate who will expose each section. So you have a classmate to work with, so you work together in dividing the sections. Then, the structure. You will include a cover, a title, and a cover. Remember, when you edit video, you can add that, the cover page, the thumbnail on YouTube. So you write that, you create there the thumbnail, that's the cover page. You write your names, institutional logo, yes, University of Talca, English practicum, reflexive video, yes. Task 1, this is the first. And you greet the audience, yes. Good morning, good afternoon, dear classmates, dear professor. We are Barbara and Javiera. We are 2 students doing English practicum. And this is our reflection for this video. Yes, so you introduce that. Yes, we can write here a brief introduction. Yes, I think I included it in the other module, in the other document. But anyway, should include a brief introduction. Probably I forgot it here. Okay. Then in the middle, what are you going to include in the middle? A little bit about the practicum context. We are going to be asking our mentor teachers again about some background, some school background. That's something coming again. But we have to be sure which grade we are working with, which is the school and the school surroundings. Many of you already know the schools are in a rural area. Yes, you have the description I wrote when we interviewed and presented you with the teachers. So some schools are in the mountains, they don't have good internet connection, for example. You have some information. Others are more in the Longaví, more urban area, and therefore you have classes in which you have several students connecting to the internet. So different situations according to in this environment of contingency. Then you will explain about the main activities that you have developed. So you have done different things just because of the contingency and because of situations that have been happening. This is very dynamic, a very dynamic situation. Some of you have intervened more than others, but you have participated in different activities and you have them already registered in your schedules. So that's not new. Then you will refer to situations that have called your attention. What is different now that you are in the position of being a teacher and not only a student in this virtual environment, for example? So you can have something that, okay, as a student, this was not the situation. Now I am in the position of a teacher. What calls my attention? Or, for example, that called my attention as well in the school. There were Aileen and Alejandra were doing the practicum. That one day they decided to close the school, close everything. They closed the school, closed all communication with parents, with families, with children. That called my attention because it was very different from other schools in the same area. So what is this? That can call my attention. I can have an answer or not. We didn't have an answer from that school. Probably that was a very disadvantaged or schooling at a very disadvantaged area. We do not really know. But anyway, sometimes can call our attention. Some things can call our attention and we need to point them out here. So the school where Barbara, Javier, and Lucas are doing the practicum decided to stop for a week. But the other schools in Longaví didn't stop for a week. So what happens? How is the organization of these schools so different that they can do different things, though they seem to be working more or less in harmony? But they are harmonious, but maybe they are not taking the same decisions. And then you need to refer to main reflections about the learning process. And this is something you're always asked to do also in your portfolios, Vitacura. You have always been reflecting, yes, and about learning and teaching in this environment is much more necessary. So probably we are also going to do something like that orally today. By the end, you should greet the audience. Thank you for listening. You were very kind. Goodbye for now. We will come back by the end of the semester, as if you were presenting a TV show. Well, no, just making a joke, but for you to know, you need to be like a little bit conversational, like you're talking to an audience. The other document, so this is the document which includes the more specific ideas in regards the content of the script. It's a video that is not very short, but the other document I was talking to you about, which is also uploaded, indicates more details on technical issues. Okay, so this is the other document. You have it. No candles, as I said, and more comments on regards other doubts that we might have. This is an introduction. Some instructions, like, for example, you participate together or in trios. We have a trio, so you have to be together in doing this. You wear the uniform, yes, for the recording of the video. You attend to your personal appearance. You will place in a cell phone or camera in horizontal position, so we have all the videos on from the same viewpoint. You speak standing up. From the median plane is from the waist upwards. Yes, so desde un plano que es desde la cintura hasta la cabeza. And of course, you don't have to cut your head, leave your head outside the video. Of course, you know this, but still it is here. And it is about from 5 to 7 minutes. Remember, you have to speak, both of you. So this is to consider a frame. Entonces, consideran un marco, ¿sí? Un marco en la imagen. Esto es para la imagen. So your complete heads, your hair can be seen. And then the background needs to be neutral. Yes, and if you need to focus on the person speaking. That means no distracting backgrounds. No Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse at the background. Okay, so questions, yes. Okay, Barbara, do you have any problem with listening? Well, I hope it is recording okay. Then video preparation. You create a script. Yes. Today we can start with reflection so that every one of you has or an outline. Yes. So each group, now this afternoon, you need to have an outline. We are going to refer to this situation, to this experience. This is our reflection in general terms. And you can finish by tonight the whole writing. And of course, you will decide. No? So Javiera says this, explains about this experience. Araceli explains this experience. So you have to divide who is going to say what. Then at the beginning, you include the cover page. I already told you, institutional logo, English practicum, students. You have mentor, teacher, university supervisor, all the names on the cover page. I can send this to you, so do not worry about it. Worry about the content. Yes, so we all have that finished today. There's no more time to wait for you to have time to do it. No, there's no more time. Again, the middle, what we explain, we expose, we explain about activities, situations, I have called our attention, and our reflections, and the ending. Some pieces of advice. So these are special considerations because other students have already done this, and professors in the practicum group have been thinking and rewriting about these considerations. So you choose the main topics, yes? So you present at least 3 ideas, yes? So this is our school, these are our activities. These are the situations that have called our attention, and we reflect about this learning process in this way. More or less, that would be the great 3 main ideas. If you have another 2, probably 2 experiences, they can also be included, and then your reflections will be connected. Write down the script. Yes, so this is what I'm saying. Write down what you're going to say. Write down the sentences. So it is easier for you not to speak on the spot. You don't feel confident to do this in English. So That is why I need to give you feedback this coming weekend, so that next week you have time to correct. And the script will be a support, yes, to define the speech, to transmit, and also take care of the time, yes, the time you have allotted. You select the scenery, yes, a neutral background, a place that is isolated, away from noises, and a single colored background, yes, a natural wall, painted wall, but no noises, not next to the dog, next to the birds, far away from the parrot speaking, so all of those things. Practice, of course, that's something you already do with your videos. Yes, you practice, you repeat several times your lines, so you learn them and you feel more confident. Then you revise your video, yes, and be careful with noises. We have already said that. Bear in mind that the main sections are greetings, brief introduction, topics to be developed, main reflections about the learning process. Again, a summary of everything we have said before. And a farewell, la despedida. Then you edit the video, you know how to do this. Nevertheless, the professors in other modules have also recommended these programs. Anyway, you know how to do this. You have been already doing this. I'm not going to intrude in that. And of course, YouTube has also an option for edition of videos. Okay, so these are the two documents I uploaded last Friday. We are reviewing them again. And so it's your time to meet with your classmates and create this kind of outlines. O sea, el outline es como un patrón, ¿verdad? Un patrón, ¿qué es lo que vamos a poner en cada sección? General ideas, bullet points. If you want to write something longer and we can check, it's better. So let us take 10 minutes, but work on this because you're going to show your work. It's not that I am not doing anything. Show me that you have decided what to include in each section. You have the tasks. Anyway, I can send them again via WhatsApp web. I can send to you again the documents. Decide what you're going to write, and we meet together to talk and ask questions if there are any questions, doubts that you have. The complete script you can finish after class and upload it by tonight to week 6. Last week, I created a task already. So I need to give you feedback on this. Remember, I have thousands of materials to read every week, every weekend. And we need to make time to do this. Otherwise, you will miss the opportunity of having feedback. Yes, and this is, we're not trying to not help you. We need to do this with time. So I can read, I need 5 pieces of work finished today to give you feedback. So you have time to correct. So the idea is that you have this reflection time, you reflect on this task, decide on the script and the topics. More on the script, the topics you're going to include in the script, then you can have more time to write sentence by sentence on the sections and topics, which anecdotes, which experiences to include, and topics to include in the script. In the script, you're going to write to prepare for the reflective video. Upload it today to task created on week 6 for feedback. Okay, the sooner I have it, the sooner I can give you feedback. Then you have another week to make corrections. And the last week, yes, the week of the, okay, this week that finishes on the 14th. I think it's 10th, around the 10th of May, you have time to record the video. And remember, you're going to be doing this several times because probably you will forget something you want to say or some line, or the cat came into the room or whatever, and you need to do it again. So you need to plan with time that the video needs to be finished by the 14th. So you have the last week, like week 9. And that we have class, I will create a forum where to upload your videos. You will also be able to see each other, give comments freely. Please feel free to give comments. And then you will also receive a feedback with the rubrics. So the rubrics are in Spanish. I still need to transfer them to English. The rubrics. The last thing we will talk, and then you start talking, checking your comments with your classmates. The rubrics, for you to have a general idea, still needs to be translated, but more or less the topics that we will check in the rubrics. Oops, sorry. Right. So we will check participation, formal aspects. Yes, of course, you always have formal aspects, requirements. If you fulfill the requirements, you use your uniform, your presentation is appropriate. Then technical aspects. So all of you have recorded the video in the way that is asked for. Yeah, so you have requirements. So the camera, the cell phone is in such and such position. It takes 5 minutes. You create a link. Of course, you do everything that is required for the video to be watched, to be produced. ¿Sí? Esta es la producción técnica del video. Then you edit it. Yes, you include the title, the cover page, and all of this. Then you have a structure. Again, we have talked about the structure. So you have a beginning, you have a development, a middle section in which you talk about the context of practicum, the school, the background. Then the activities that you have been developing. And then you talk about your experiences, things that have called your attention, and then you have a closure, yes, your reflection to round up your discussion. And here, the reflections are here, yes, and you say goodbye. Remember all this, the different sections. So finally, you express orally naturally. Yes, you're spontaneous. Remember, you're speaking in a language that is not yours, but nevertheless, you're not reading or having a face that you're scared with something. No, be natural, be spontaneous as much as you can. And of course, you try to look at the camera and you try not to sound scared. You're going to be about to run away. As natural as possible. Of course, you're not speaking in your mother tongue. Therefore, we need the support of a script. Nevertheless, we are not going to be reading, yes? We need to sound natural. And that's why you have time to create the script and be sure what you're going to say. To the best of your ability. Remember, I am not checking your English proficiency now. It's only that you're able to talk about this, you're practicing the skills, but also you're transmitting this message to us, to the professors, that you're doing okay, what is your process of learning, your process of reflection. And therefore, we follow a pattern that is similar to other students doing practicum, but speaking in Spanish. So in general, the objective is to learn about your learning process, your reflective process, but not to level or to grade your level in English proficiency. This is not a language course, but it's a course in which we are doing a lot of learning, and therefore we need to show that and we need to be able to speak about that. So that's the objective, not to sentence you to any level or you don't pass the OPT, so nothing to do with that area. It's only to show your learning process. So, do you have any question now before we divide in groups to work? Let me check your. So, questions? Do we have any questions? So we do this pair work now. Okay, how long? For how long do you think you can work? Girls. Do we agree that you work until 3:05? Will you be able to have this organization of your script, the main topics, the main things, bullet points? So bullet points, do you know what's bullet points? Simplemente los puntos más importantes. Sorry. Yes? Do you follow? Do you follow me? So you know what bullet points are. Si saben lo que son los bullet points. Estos son bullet points. O sea, lo más importante. Yo acá no escribo todo una oración completa. Simplemente lo principal. Reminder, reflective video. Okay, so these are bullet points. Most important points, not to forget them. Okay, so in 10 minutes, you tell me if you're ready. Do you think that's okay? Which conclusions? Who would like to share conclusions? Ideas. So first of all, we are going to include, we said the introduction, brief mention of the school, and school setting. Who has an idea?
Maybe in the introduction, talk about the nucleo of the school.
Yes.
The question is referred about that I said, or
yes, it's the school, the name of school, and the background. Where is your school?
Escuela José María Caro in Longaví was founded. Then talk about
the screen.
Yes, yes, you can share the screen. Yes, yes. I was going to share them. Yes, yes. Share. Yes, when it was founded, or it is a place in the mountain, or it's in Longaví in the 80s. Yes, or the teacher that is working with you on.
Yes.
That's what they say.
We need to. Yes, we need to write about it.
Yes, the school has courses. Yes, excellent. Excellent. So those are bullet points, ¿sí? Estos son los puntitos, los puntos más importantes para luego armar la oración. Yes. So then you will be able to join that in a sentence. Okay, activities developed. Even if you didn't write, but you have an idea. So bullet points. What did you do?
The little intervention.
Intervention. To
talk about the intervention, maybe.
Yes.
We will impart it, I don't know, or make the second unit, so talk about the activity
you will
that
organize. Yes, so you will organize, you will plan the second unit, to teach about the rooms of the house. You did also, probably you did, well, that was your experience, but other girls, what did you do? Araceli, for example. Javiera, what did you do in your practicum? What activities did you develop? Just to have a little bit of everyone.
Preparation of video.
Video preparation.
Preparation of planning.
Planning.
Material.
Yes, exactly. So they did material. Yes, the material. Or worksheet. Remember that word, worksheets.
Worksheet.
The worksheets. You prepared worksheets, visual material, videos. Excellent. Excellent. So you get it. Yes. Then even if you have bullet points at this point, then you can have a complete sentence. Something that called your attention, Alejandra, in this environment.
In our case, is the few students that the grade have. There are 4 students.
4 students.
Yes.
It's a very small school.
Yes.
Very small, and the teacher is very dedicated, and the kids are very sweet as well. Very, very, very sweet. They are very few, son muy poquitos, y muy dulces, y muy responsables.
Yeah.
So it's a great experience for the girls, because the first school was closed, and so we didn't have any option, but here there is a lot of opportunity. So it's great. All right, one experience. Can Liselda, one of your experiences that you wanted to share, for example?
Miss, I consider that we have a little experience in interventions.
You have had little experience so far, but we are in week 5, so we are okay. You have had little experience. You have observed also a lot, don't forget about that. You have observed, and there are little cues, como key points, que van apareciendo en las clases que ustedes observan. There are cues, como que, por ejemplo, your teacher is worried about the students in 7th grade, that they didn't do well ¿en qué no les fue bien?
In the test.
In the test. They didn't do well in the test, and they have a problem. They have a problem with reading. So those are little cues that you can gather, yes, to develop. So our class is not so good in reading. They didn't do well in the test. They are not good in learning, for example, learning vocabulary, or they need more revision in something like that happened also when I was talking some weeks ago with Camila and Daniela, that the students needed support with vocabulary, for example. So they made a proposal of an activity with vocabulary. So those are little cues that you can gather from your classes and add them in your reflections. How can you help these children? So that is one idea, okay? Not the only one. Do you have any other idea that you would like to develop in the classes or in your reflection? Something that you have seen or you think? In one way or other, every one of you will be having an intervention, even the students that are planning and preparing materials and videos. So that will be considered an interaction and intervention as well. So of course, you will have much more to say by the end of the semester, but so far, remember, you have to focus on everything you have lived, yes? Reflections. Okay, so main reflections about the learning process. And I have some questions to help you with the reflection. Let us do together a discussion. And this can help you with a reflection moment. Okay. Let's go quickly. Okay, here. Some reflections. Okay, so these reflections can help us reflect about the whole experience, our own experience, your own experience as students, and also as future teachers. So let's share your reflections about your experiences with teaching and learning during this contingency. So which reflections? Even if you have some brainstorming of words, and we can write them here so that they can help you later reflect for your writing. What can we say? One thing each one can say one thing about teaching and learning during the contingency, the COVID contingency, sorry. I have to try to complete. Okay. What can we say? What did you learn? What was your experience?
That is, it's more difficult for the children. Learning.
It is difficult or not?
It is.
It is.
Yes.
And not just for the children, for the teachers.
Yes.
It's difficult too.
Yes, for teachers to learn. Yes, no, for students. I was thinking of students. For students to learn in this context. Yes, in this context. Sorry, context. Yes. It is also difficult for teachers. Yes, so we will reuse this size. It's very big. Very, very big. Okay, so yes. It is also difficult for teachers. Yes. To teach, to reach the students. To be
Also, that they have a connection.
Yes, yes, of course. Connection to the internet, stable connection to the internet in a country like this one is something complex to get.
Sí. And captar la atención de los niños también.
Yes, excellent. Excellent. Internet connection is complex to get. Yes. Students
organize the classes.
Yes, yes. Get students' attention. Yes. Get students' attention. That's going to happen to you when you have to organize an activity or a part of a class or a whole class. How do you get the attention, the organization? Yes. Get students' attention and organization of the class. Yes. Do we have time for them to make connections, to exchange with others and learn together in a constructivist way? Do we have those experiences? Do we have those opportunities? We have to take into account all of these issues of which we have been reading and learning in this last year, and think how much we have learned, how much we have invested in trying to get solutions. And we were talking yesterday about investigation, about research, searching for solutions to problems, but not only to solutions to problems in themselves, but trying to get solutions to new situations in general, to new environments. So it's a great challenge. And so all of these ideas can be added to your reflections because they are true to your experience experiences. Yes. Do you want to add anything else? Okay. Anything else would you like to add? But I think it's quite complete. If you have any other, it's welcome. Yes, this is not right or wrong. We are not, this is not right or wrong. It's about your experiences, your perceptions, and your learning process. Yes, it's personal. Personal or also in pairs, we can share with our classmates as well. But it's about your subjective view. So this is not something, remember what we see in investigation, we are not investigating something that is true outside. We are investigating or trying to get what is inside, the subjective view of the people. And in here, we need to be truthful to our experiences. It's not right or wrong. It's not black or white. No, there are various experiences and feelings. So that's the richness of this event. Okay, something happens when I change the sizes. Okay, second, what do you think have been positive experiences during the COVID-19 contingency in the teaching and learning areas? Because mostly we refer to something difficult.
Maybe I learning of the different app for communication, for example, Zoom or Meet.
Yes, for communication, and also for mediation of teaching. Yes, Zoom, Meet, but also the other apps, the video applications, for example, that we didn't have any. YouTube, even YouTube. I have been learning on my own just by clicking here and there, and I said, okay, I had all of this, but I never paid attention to it. Yes, so it was something I was missing. So I learned about different apps for communication and for mediation in general. Yes. La mediación en general, no tan solo social, sino también educacional, yo creo. Okay, so yes, Genesis, were you going to say anything?
And we have more imagination for create something.
Yes. Developed, yes, more imagination. For creating new ideas, for creating new opportunities. You have to adapt a lot. How am I going to do this activity online? So it's a great process of thinking and developing
different
ideas.
methods for teaching.
Yes.
Miss. Also that parents are concerned about their children's learning.
Yes, more conscious. Yes, that's great. We have more time. Okay. Yes, Griselda. Yes, so Griselda finds you have more time. Yes, we don't go out. So we have I have found that I have more time. Really, I finished a big project. I was not even thinking I could do. But just because of the time we take more advantage of. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's great. And we have new opportunities to use different methods, more opportunity to dedicate to looking for strategies, to dedicate to working and looking for strategies. And the last one was creating new opportunities, methods, more time, that's positive. And what else? Parents. Yes, that's great. Parents are more conscious, more participative of their children's learning process. And that is, I think, it's one of the greatest findings in these times, because parents had not been so conscious before of the great job that implied their children's learning processes. So that is amazing. So that is really amazing. Right. So I'm looking for parents are more conscious of participating process. Yes, I am. I don't think my parents or my father, for example, knew so much about teaching and learning as parents today, as fathers today know about their children who are working next to them, probably at home. So it's a great learning process. It's a great evolution. And now, how have your experience helped you in your virtual practicum? Because we all had a year of virtual classes before going to the practicum. So how have these experiences helped you? And this is also something valuable for your writing of the script. Remember how we were a year ago, not knowing what to do. I never knew whether you were coming early Monday morning, if the connections were still there, if what we were going to do. So it was much uncertain.
We are more younger, so we know more about the internet, the, I don't know, apps, the moda.
Yes, more knowledgeable.
Yes. So we our knowledge about the internet, podemos enseñarle a ella.
Fashionable apps. Yes, fashionable apps, and teach about them. Yes, and teach about them. And you can play Kahoot, for example. And that was not possible in our schools some years ago. It was technology, yes, of course, and it was forbidden to take the cell phone to class, so children could not play or do Menti, for example, or participate via Menti or Kahoot, because it was forbidden in schools. So imagine how much we have learned in that aspect. So you were more knowledgeable. Yes, Camila, you wanted to say you were more knowledgeable, tienen más conocimiento, or is that one, or more younger? Did you say something about younger, being younger?
Sí, donde éramos más, un poco más como unas profesores jóvenes, podemos enseñarles, y sabemos más del internet, como por ejemplo, sabemos ocupar TikTok o no sé, y ellos están relacionados con eso, entonces con esas aplicaciones, lo que sabemos, le enseñamos, y ellos aprenden porque conocen eso, entonces.
Yes, you can take advantage of your age group and your nearness to the students. So you're nearer to them. Yes, it's that being near in generations to our students brings us lots of benefits that we lose when we get far away from their generation. So it was different, my point of view, when I was 25 teaching 7-year-olds than now that I'm 50. So imagine the difference with a 7-year-old. I can't go to a classroom with 7-year-olds. I will not feel I can be so near to them. And that's something that that is really necessary to keep. Yes, so I have been keeping in contact with older students before coming here, but how much we can learn that feeling of empathy. Yes, so be careful, be mindful when you teach also that going backwards back to the to the schools, also when probably you dedicate yourselves to teaching adults. Going back to schools also keeps you in that position of not losing that connection. For example, with elementary schools, in the case you are elementary school teachers. So that is important. So take advantage of the lack of generation gap. So you don't have a big generation gap with your students today. And that is an asset. That's something positive to your favor. Yes. To take advantage of the lack of generation gap and are more empathic with the students' likes, dislikes, and ways of learning. Yes, this is for sure. And this changes from generation to generation. So this is important, never to lose track of what is going on. And changes are going at a huge speed. And that's going to be so in the future. So whatever we're doing this year, next year is going to be old already, outdated. So again, keeping always in this feeling of lack of gap. La menor distancia que creamos que hay entre nuestros estudiantes es la mejor. Y no tiene que ver siempre con la edad, sino con la actitud, ¿sí? So again, in attitude, because eventually you're going to be older, but your attitude, always your attitude towards learning new about everything that comes new in teaching and learning, because that will help you bridge that gap. Si estamos siempre en lo nuevo en que hay en educación, siempre ahí sortearemos el problema de esa distancia con nuestros estudiantes y con lo que va sucediendo en el mundo de la educación. So these are great reflections, great reflections. You are free to use them in your writing, in your reflective video. Because you have learned, there are many more positive things. So whenever we ask about this contingency, we tend to think of the negative, but it's not necessarily everything negative. We have learned a lot. Let us capitalize. Let's keep everything that is positive, that has made us better, more independent, more autonomous, and more knowledgeable. ¿Sí? Todo lo que nos da conocimiento y desarrolla nuestras habilidades, so that then we can transmit that also to our students. So great. So do you think you can finish this reflection today? It shouldn't be so long. Remember, you're 2 people and you have 5 minutes. So I don't think this is going to be very, very long. But please focus and try to finish for today. Do you have any more questions about this? Anything else about this topic? So remember, we don't have so much time until it is due. So let us work today. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Today, tonight. Okay, then in regards to portfolio, everything we have finished until the week 10. I will create also a place on Educandos for you to upload and receive feedback. Again, we said about the forum. And of course, we always remember the report, which you're doing, and you keep sending. And your reflections in regards your work. So we said we are in week 7. No, 5, sorry, 5. And there are 7 more weeks. So I am meeting with your teachers one-to-one, explaining that we are paying attention a lot to your development now that you have observed and participated a little and intervened a little. that you have probably more interventions, more responsibility, and they are willing. Yes, they are willing to do so. I talked to Professor Carlos, and he told me they have been changing the activities at this school where they have been doing other activities, so they will go back to the video preparation, which is a kind of intervention. We will level that to intervention. Any other people? Anyone else would like to say? I am meeting more teachers next week so that they are aware that we need to have a kind of, it's not the same, but the most uniform kind of activities for you so that we can also evaluate you. And that evaluation is due, you know, in June. So the evaluation from the mentor teachers, yes, both. The mentor teacher, which is here in purple, and the tutor. So our evaluations are due in June. Therefore, we need to see you performing and going through a development, through an evolution. Okay, anything else you want to say about this topic that is relevant? Have you talked about this with your teachers? And I have been mentioning that you can start thinking of these key points that you might have spoken with the teachers, or that you might have noticed, so that you start with some proposals, let us say, with some ideas about interventions. And even if it is for a remedial, with a remedial objective. Yeah, so Daniela and Camila were commenting now that children need revision with vocabulary. So it's something remedial, but it's still something you can have the initiative of organizing. So think it in that way. Think about it in that way as well. So anything we would like to say? So Araceli and Javiera, what have you been doing, or have you talked with the professor?
Was a good week, teacher. We work in the planning, the class for sixth grade. And prepare the material. But yes. I think that I need more time for this.
Yes, of course. It takes a lot of time to prepare tasks.
Yes.
Forever. It's a lot of time. Yeah, now you understand me. Getting up at 5 o'clock, preparing the tasks. So yes, that takes a lot of time, and I have been warning you, be careful with time. We don't have eternal hours. And so Javier and Araceli will go back, hopefully, to their wonderful videos that we hope we can share 1 or 2 of them by the end of the semester. And in that way, fulfill that, intervention criteria. Yes, Genesis and Liselda. Anything? What will you be doing next week? Also,
we do the feature.
You finished the sí, this one. La ficha de seguimiento, that's the
yes.
One? You did the feature, yes. Yes. Okay, we will. You keep on sending them to me so I can send them to the responsible person.
Miss.
What will you be doing next week? We will be. What are you going to do next week? with 7th grade, Griselda? Are you there? Can you listen?
We don't do nothing about we don't do interventions, but
you will.
We was talking about the test.
Yes, in the past you were you were revising the test, but in the future you will have the opportunity to intervene. Yes. The test, and from there, from what you see for future interventions, you can still pick up some ideas, as I was reinforcing. Yes. Aileen and Alejandra?
And in this week, we work with the activity book with the students, but
Yes.
for time we can finish. And so for that reason, we can finish the next week.
Yes, and I will also, so you have been intervening little by little and explaining some topics, but eventually you will have more responsibility. Yes. Barbara, Javiera, and Lucas.
We will start the second unit this week, the next week.
Yes, we prepare the PPT.
Material.
Yes, the material.
Next week, yes, and they were preparing materials, yes. Next week, we have been discussing. Yes, and so, and this is what you will eventually do. And that's why we are going to reflect on something else. And Mila.
And this week we make a interview.
Intervention?
Intervention, yes.
Yes.
No interview.
Yes. Yes, an intervention. Yes.
And we thought with Daniela that the children don't participate. But all children participate with us, so
yes.
was very, very
entertaining.
Good.
Yes, and it was entertaining. The kids were so
happy
with you. So that's great. That's great. We have to enlarge that connection with children a lot, because that will make you feel more confident in the future. So
and the first was the first time that they say me Tia Camila, so was almost cry.
Oh my gosh. Yes, exactly. Yes, you feel emotional, but yes, get accustomed. You're coming to that. So we thought the children would not participate. They were very participative. And so we have to use this in favor of our future work. They were very, in order to continue developing that charm with children. And that's great. That's a great feeling. So the feature de seguimiento, of course, I think some teachers are still filling in between, do not worry. And before going, and then you have this guideline, which you also have it on Educandos, for you to see the items with which we will be observing you and giving you feedback. So you will see there about preparation, about attention to development of the class, your ethical development, your management, and a little bit of evaluation. So this is important for us to focus, and therefore I changed this topic. I brought it nearer in time, because eventually, for one reason or other, or probably with one format or other, you will be planning. And therefore, we need to focus on this planning activity, which you will be doing for many years to come. And therefore, there's an excellent reading by Thomas Farrell that gives us a lot of light towards lesson planning. And of course, you're going to receive different requirements from your mentor teachers. So have you talked to your mentor teachers about planning? Or yes, some of you have been doing that, Araceli and Javiera, and they follow a pattern. Siguen un patrón. Now I will share with you the pattern we have decided for our program, and I will ask you to start planning everything, even a little even if it is an activity or an intervention, using the planning. Yes, so that will be easier for me to give you feedback and you to get organized. Remember that you will follow different patterns, ¿sí? Muchos patrones de planificación van a venir en el futuro. But the minimum requirements we are going to cover from here. And this topic seemed to me very, very ad hoc because we have been talking about this last year also, but now it makes another sense since you're working with children. Ahora sí están trabajando con intervenciones, con actividades, entonces ahora hace más sentido el planificar, on the one hand. On the other hand, you are getting nearer to more practicum experiences. And therefore, yesterday we were listening to, we were in a meeting with students from 4th year, and they thanked all the professors with whom they had planned in the past, including English, just because they could plan so well and they were very well considered by their teachers in their schools that everything seems to be a great success. So it is worthwhile that we stop a little bit in planning and we think and we read about planning, just because this is an activity that we cannot stop doing. Yes, and if next year you're telling me, thank you, Miss Paula, we really learned a lot about planning and now our mentor teachers are very happy with us, that would be a win-win, attitude, a win-win objective. And you have been planning also with Professora Karen, with Professora Marianela, and therefore each planning, of course, has a little nuance. But in general, we all plan because of the same reasons. And so this is something we can already think of, brainstorm. So why do we think we use a plan? We need a plan, a lesson plan. Then you will do the reading, but now why do we have a lesson? Why do we do a lesson plan? Anything that comes to your mind? Why do we need a plan in teaching? Any idea? Any idea? Why?
Maybe help to the teacher for have a structure.
A structure,
of
yes,
the class,
of course.
yes, and the activity that he want make.
Yes, exactly. So there is a need for introduction. There is a need for a structure, yes, to know what to do. We cannot be just in the vacuum, you know, en la nada, en la absoluta nada. So this link will connect you to a very easy reading chapter in which Thomas Farrell speaks about different areas, yes, about introduction and a brief introduction. Why do we plan? And he talks about, yes, among others, to have a path, yes, to have a structure, un camino, una estructura. So all we all have these ideas that we need something to follow and know what we are going to do. And then other visions on how to plan and about lesson planning. So you're going to do a little task. Do not worry, you will have time to think this afternoon about this as well. So while you are reading, yes, you will pay attention to what is the lesson plan, why it is important to develop a lesson plan, which are the benefits, and something about objectives, which is always something we need to remember, to repeat a lot. Language learning objectives, because we need to remember we are teaching language. There is a content as well, yes, but there is language behind what we are teaching, how we use the verbs, the activities, procedures, and important questions, yes, about planning. So that will be a short task that I am going to upload to Educandos as well in this order. But now I wanted you to focus on objectives. And last night I was talking to Javier and Barbara and Lucas because of their class they are preparing. And of course we follow objectives. Which objectives did you learn to focus on? ¿Cuáles objetivos ustedes aprendieron a fijarse en los otros módulos? Any idea? ¿Qué objetivos ustedes incluyen en los planes que han estado haciendo?
You refer to the verbs?
No, the objectives, los objetivos de aprendizaje. ¿De dónde los tomamos?
De las bases curriculares.
De bases curriculares, exacto. But remember, those are general learning outcomes, ¿sí? Son como aprendizajes generales a conseguir. Nosotros, al enseñar una lengua, también tenemos que focalizarnos en los objetivos que son más puntuales al enseñar una lengua. Entonces, esto es lo que yo estaba llamando la atención ayer a las chicas, y esto deberíamos focalizarnos, sea como sea que nosotros planifiquemos, con el formato que planifiquemos, ¿sí? Si el de la escuela o el de nosotros de la carrera, focalizarnos en que tenemos que enseñar un objetivo de lengua, más allá de un contenido que puede estar relacionado con las partes de la casa, las partes del cuerpo, los adjetivos, los sustantivos, whatever it is, okay, colors, whatever. So we need to pay attention that objectives describe a learning outcome, o sea, describen este objetivo general de logro a la larga, and indicate what students need to learn. They provide guidance in the selection of appropriate activities, so we need to be together, so objetivo y actividades están relacionadas. They provide a lesson focus. ¿En qué me focalizo en la clase? Gracias al objetivo. Direction as well. And evaluation. So they help us in evaluation. Also, how are we going to evaluate? So when we see the lesson plan, everything needs to be together. Yes, connected, related to each other. Revising more precisely, and we did this last year, it's only a revision for you, only a revision. We talked about the English language objectives, yes? What do we learn in English classes? And therefore, I remember that we talked about the verbs that we needed to use, that needed to be verbs that indicated observable behavior. Yes, so we need to observe a change, or the students do something, produce something, analyze something. Yes, so for example, verbs like identify, present, describe, explain, demonstrate, analyze. But we do not use verbs that are difficult to observe. Therefore, verbs like understand, appreciate, enjoy, know, learn, or perceive, which are verbs that refer to mental actions, those verbs are not the most appropriate because I cannot observe these behaviors. Okay, eventually they understand, they enjoy, but they do something that is observable first. Do you remember about this? That we talked about this several times, about objectives? Yes or no? We did this last year. We did,
Yes, Miss.
yes, in creación y facilitación. And I remember giving you a little structure to follow, and I have added that to the planning as well. Okay. So what are we going to include in our objectives? We include the verb, which includes a function, yes, the verb of action that we can observe. Then a content, a meaningful content. So we're teaching parts of the body, parts of the house, states of water, as it says here, characters in a book, well, whatever it is that we want them to learn. And a lexicon or a grammar pattern in English. And also we included an addition here that was skills. For example, if I wanted them to only practice speaking or only practice writing or only practice reading, whatever special skill I want to develop. So examples are for the following. Describe 3 states of water, the 3 states of water, so that's the content, using the present simple tense. So water evaporates at such and such degrees. So usando el presente simple, yo puedo referirme a los cambios de estado del agua. And that is something I can do with science. And I am perfectly teaching content and language. So then we have present the members of the family. So they are doing something, learning members of the family. So that's content. And using vocabulary, yes, specific vocabularies, orally and in writing. So I add also the skills I want to develop. So these are only examples, and we have probably written more last year. I do not know whether you remember them, but I really need you to practice with this less objective writing, because they need to be included in your in everything you're teaching, because you're teaching a content that is mainly linguistic. So it has to do with vocabulary or with grammar, with a grammar point, with grammar knowledge. Okay, so here you have other support in writing. So these are extra materials in writing objectives. And before we do some practice with the objectives, yes, I will show you the lesson plan. So it was renewed. I think last year you saw the old lesson plan. Now this new one is simpler. So I really like it because I think it is simpler. We have less issues, but anyway, you would tell me. It's easier to complete. So this is the new version with the colors. The same information we introduced last year. Plus we have less columns. ¿Sí? Este patrón ahora tiene menos, este modelo tiene menos columnas, hace más fácil la organización del contenido. So here we have learning outcomes. So we have learning outcomes, el objetivo de aprendizaje, and language objectives. Yes, with the pattern of the language objectives. So you take them also from bases curriculares. También tenemos las bases de los objetivos de inglés en las bases curriculares y lo tenemos nosotros que transformar a una estructura en donde mencionemos el contenido y la estructura gramatical o la estructura del léxico que queremos enseñar. Then we have evaluation and assessment indicators. This is from bases curriculares as well. Here the instrument, evaluation instrument and procedures, yes, that we are going to follow for evaluation. And then the learning activities divided according to the moments in the class. And you have seen this also in Spanish. You have a beginning section of the class, a mid development section of the class, and a closure section. Okay. So here you have step by step everything that you need to pay attention to when organizing the class. So you have the learning outcome, the objectives. Yes, you present them and you say, you present them at the beginning. Then how you're going to work. Remember, you remind children the rules of the class, how they work, how they need to work with the professor, with the teacher. Then you have a class opening, yes, a warm-up, yes, call the attention of them. Remember, it's difficult to get their attention, so how can you call their attention? Then you ask for previous knowledge, brainstorming, yes, motivate them because they're going to learn something new, and give instructions. Remember that in virtual classes, we have less time than in face-to-face classes. Then the development should concentrate on the concepts, on the content, whether it is, we said, members of the family, parts of the body, parts of the house, and the language objective. What are they going to do? Learn vocabulary, learn the present simple. What are they going to do? Then specific exercises according to skills. Remember, are they going to repeat? It's only oral practice. It's written practice. It is reading, listening, or a combination. Remember, we saw last semester the combination of integration of skills. Also, you mentioned a relationship to other areas. For example, if they have been learning the states of water in science, ¿sí? Si vemos los estados del agua, relacionarlo con otras disciplinas. Then students work alone in some cases, or in pairs, or in groups, and the interactions. And the closure. Yes, this is similar to what we saw last semester. So a summary of everything seen, and the learning outcome, the learning objective, the language objective. And how are you going to systematize? Are you going to ask them what did they learn? Yes, the metacognition analysis. And also how they can continue doing follow-up activities. Yes, homework or something that they need to bring or do for the following class. Okay, so it is very similar. We did something like this last year as planning as practice. And here the resources that they need, because they need to be related. Yes, they need to be related. All of the objectives related to the skills, to the activities, the resources, and the evaluation. So everything needs to be related to each other. That's the reflection here. Okay, so do you understand the new model? Do you think it is difficult? ¿Es difícil?
Not really.
No, not really, not really. So the situation is, so it's coming back to, time is really flying. So I wanted you to work in pairs. We cannot work now in the class. So you will be able to work in pairs this afternoon. If you want to stay working now, you can do it. Ask me questions and do complete a plan that could be applied to your practicum. Yes, and upload it for feedback. With the activities you have been doing, the idea here is just to apply what we have been doing. not creating something new, but something that we have done. Even if it is only a revision of some topic, a revision of parts of the body, like Camila and Daniela, revision of Liselda and Genesis were doing revision of pronouns. Then Araceli and Javiera have also been doing planning, so they know. And Barbara and Javiera have been are preparing their first intervention with parts of the house. And I have the idea, I forget someone. Am I forgetting anyone? Alejandra and Eileen have also been working in revising the time, how to say the time. So all of us have been doing something, even if it is little. So for you to use this lesson plan and familiarize with it, and you can send it for feedback. Also tonight, at the latest tomorrow. So this has to be finished today. Otherwise, if we wait for another week, it will be crazy. Again, we will accumulate things to do. And all of this is going to the portfolio. Yes, so your lesson plan draft, this first lesson plan, just using the new lesson plan, will go to the portfolio after my corrections. Yes, after feedback from the professor, after receiving feedback. Okay, so are you clear on what we are doing? So today you have two things that are important to remember. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Okay, I am going to, so think of everything that you need to think of or ask, and I am going to check something I am missing here. Do you understand everything you're doing? You need to finish your reflection, your writing for your video. This is for me to give you feedback this weekend. And you're finishing a first draft, es un borrador, of your plan with the activities you have been doing in the practicum. Is that clear?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So next class is on May, I forget always, 7th. Yeah, May 7th. Yes, 1 week from today. All right. So I have the PPT somewhere else, absent-mindedly. Okay, it is here. So May 7th. Yes. So you have to finish task 1 to 3. This is finished. Forum posting, finished. You have to upload, yes, from here. You have to upload your pairs reflective video script for feedback. This is urgent. Yes, this is urgent because you're reviewing next week and preparing the following week, recording it. Your lesson plans can be over the weekend, let us say, over the weekend, so I can help you, give you a feedback as well. And we already have there a backup of what we have been doing, at least one activity, if it is not a complete class. Yes, by over the weekend. Yeah? O sea, en el fin de semana, para tener este backup de las primeras actividades que ya han estado haciendo. O que van a hacer, como los que están preparándose para la semana que viene. So this one is urgent, right? Because we are like going behind of the practicum is going quickly and we need to catch up with that. Well, as usual, always keep an eye on practicum work. Check on your professors, your teachers, your mentor teachers at the beginning of the week and complete the schedule. So I think you have already got in this habit. Do you have any questions that we need to solve now? Necesitamos solucionar alguna pregunta
No
ahora?
question, Miss.
No question. So I will upload the materials. The task and reflection about the lesson plan we can do next week. Do not worry about that task, but worry about using the lesson plan so that we see if it works, or if we need to do some more revisions to it. So that's important. And thank you for attending, for your patience and participation. And I will be available for your questions in completing these tasks. Is that clear then? Or do we need to clarify anything else? ¿Necesitamos otra aclaración? Okay, we're fine. Thank you for your participation, and the materials will be on Educandos.
Thank you, Miss.
Welcome, girls. You're welcome. So keep tuned. Finish the reflective video. A must. And then think of this planning, and we will keep on from there. Thinking of every plan that we need to do along the semester. Okay, girls. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week. Bye.
La reunión, ¿a qué hora va a ser?
Mando el link, Araceli.